Hello everyone, I'm back and I'm going to allow Instagram a moment to set this up as usual while we try to get our guest connected. Hi everyone, thank you for joining my parallel universe, Confetti, Tenny there, Amna, Hina Muscat, thank you so much. Good evening and welcome you all to live chats at OBLC. And just like that, here is the season finale. What an incredible journey listening to the voices of women in our Women's Special Edition, the Season 2 of Live Chats at OBLC. Here we are today, season finale, episode 7, which is scheduled to stream live on Tuesday, 31st May, streaming live on our Facebook and YouTube channel. And today we are bringing you, as usual on Sunday, the prologue to the main chat. A sneak preview, a curtain raiser as you may like to call it. Jane JAFFER, a name that needs no introduction in Oman, a name that resonates with each and every book lover in Oman. And if you're a book lover and in Oman, you know what we're talking about. Come, let's meet the pioneer voice of education and reading for children in Oman.
Looks like it's working.
Oh,
I can hear Ian.
I can't believe it. We're actually connected. I don't know what happened. It kept just that wheel of doom going round and round.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I think sometimes even a little bit of a network speed could also affect that.
It's a
so
problem
thank
in
God
this
that you could try.
I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you so much for your patience. No, not at all. It's not at all your issue. It's just technology, as much as it helps us.
Technology,
it's also a pain at times. Good evening, wonderful ladies coming in from our audience. Thank you so much, Jane, for your patience with technology, and thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
It is an absolute honor. It's Oman Book Lovers Club, and what better than Jane JAFFER to be talking to, because every book lover in Oman resonates with this name. So we are really, really, truly honored to be talking to you today.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think...
No. Before the internet fails us again, let's get into the talk.
Straight away.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody who's joining in and supporting this chat. Thank you, everyone, for keeping us motivated. So we have given a brief bio, and we will be doing a detailed formal bio of our esteemed guest. But Jane, today, the first thing we would like to request you is to tell our audience a little bit about the Jane JAFFER, who we don't know, the person behind the professional, the author, the leader of Let's Read. A little bit about yourself for, in fact, the followers of Oman Book Lovers Club who might be tuning in from across the globe as well.
Okay, well, that's a tall order. Where to start? I'm so old, a lot's happened. I was brought up in London. I became a teacher, and I married my husband, who is Omani, in 1980. So I've actually lived in Muscat for 41 years, which is a very long time. I started off as a teacher. I was working in a nursery school, and then I set up the nursery at the British school, which was called MES at the time, Muscat English Speaking School, and it's now BSM, which is in Madinat Caboose. And I've always had a love of reading. As a teacher, primary school teacher, obviously, I know the importance of reading because, when you read, you not only learn to express yourself more clearly, you broaden your vocabulary, you learn about other people, you learn about the world, and you also even learn about yourself because you put yourself into the sort of shoes of the heroines of your stories, and that develops empathy. So we know that it improves qualifications and career prospects and things. So for me, reading was very important, and I thought that it's quite difficult for a lot of children to gain access to good books in this country, and also difficult for them to actually, or not very often, that they get a chance to read about children who live in the Middle East or live in Oman, of course. Yeah. So that's why I started writing. I've written 3 children's books, actually, all set in Oman. And I wanted to do that because I really wanted children to have the opportunity to read about something they could really relate to. I love history, so I've written historical fiction. I'm very keen to read about people's stories. I think people's stories are amazing. You know, I think true life is crazier than fiction, really. So yes, I've helped people. I've ghostwritten people's stories. Along the way, I had 3 boys. That's my biggest achievement, of course, are my children. And they have, in turn, 3 children. So I've now got 3 children and 3 grandchildren, which I'm very, very delighted to. And I keep very busy with them. So, yes, that sort of brings us up to the present day. We have the bookshop, in the charity bookshop in Oman Avenues Mall, and Maktabati, the mobile library, which goes around trying to give children access to good books at reasonable prices.
Yeah.
Does that
Excellent.
kind of start you off with a few things?
Absolutely. And lots of books that you have written, and I'm going to pull. So that's one that you gifted to our libraries. Thank you so much. So generous of you. So before we go on, I would like to just remind our viewers that there is a giveaway. There are in fact 2 giveaways running of author-signed copies of Jane's books. One is this, and the other one is Raifi's Dinosaur Adventure. So do not forget to participate in these giveaways, which are on our handle on Instagram. Yes.
This one is actually in Arabic as well, in English and in Arabic.
Wow. So wonderful. I mean, Arabic reading and English reading audience can participate. So both giveaways are separate. So whoever wants a copy of this book, please participate in this giveaway, and the other one. So both are available. The winner will be chosen by Jane during the live chat on Tuesday. So you have time to participate for another 48 hours. So coming back to Jane, what kind of books have you written? You just mentioned 3 children's books. Also stories of people is what you like to read and write. But do tell us a little bit briefly about the books, while we will go deeper into them in the main chat, but a little of a glimpse for people who don't know.
Okay, well, it was Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, actually, which started me writing. I mean, I used to write poetry when I was a teenager, but I didn't really write much when I had my young children. But the Artist's Way, one of the exercises that they give you to actually try and overcome kind of a writer's block or an artistic block, was to write morning pages. And that means to actually write a diary to when you wake up, before you have your coffee, before you do anything, you write. And you're not even supposed to look at it for a few weeks, in fact. You just write. It's kind of like a stream of consciousness. And pretty soon as I started doing that, I mean, it was a complete excavation of the soul, and I started to really learn a lot about myself. And I started writing poetry. So this was the first book that I ever wrote.
Wow.
This is called Women on the Edge, and it was sort of poems about a woman's life, from not a particular woman, but, women's experiences, if you like.
Yeah.
So that was my first foray into writing. Then I started a writers group, and one of the things that we were asked to do in the writers group was to write the first paragraph of a very gripping story. And so I ended up writing Scent of a Rose, which is the story of a girl who comes to Oman, because they say you should always write about what you know, right? So it's not autobiographical, but it's a story about a girl who comes to Oman, and she's actually stalked. So, she has a lot of difficulties, but at the same time, the worst difficulty she faces actually is that she goes to the desert and gets lost. So it's an interesting story in that respect, and I really enjoyed writing that.
Which year did you write this one?
Sorry?
Which year did you write this one?
Oh, this one I wrote in, let me just see what it says, 2006.
Ah,
The first one I
right.
wrote was in 2003, and it's just been sort of every few years or every year or two I've tried to write something. And of course, the other thing is we've had winning stories from our children's writing competition. Actually,
Yes.
yesterday we just had the winning prize giving for the 16th writing competition. And so
Wow.
we've published 5 books, which are collections of the winning stories of the children's
Yes.
writing competition.
Yes. This is such
So,
a
yeah.
great platform for children and it's amazing opportunity.
Well, I think they do love to see their work in print. I always try and get the winning stories into the press, but then, you know, possibly if we get sponsorship, we can actually put them into a book as well. And it's just amazing when you do the book launch because the children are there signing the book, you know, as authors. And
Yeah.
it gives them such a sense of pride in their own abilities. And I think, you know, to build a child's self-esteem is so important, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the latest ones I've done, Sariya and the
Yes.
turtles.
I have
This
a
one
copy of
here.
Sariya with me. I don't
Yeah,
have it in my hand.
yeah.
Yes.
This one I wrote because you know I think it's amazing that Oman has actually in the waters around Oman we have 5 of the 7 species of sea turtle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that or haven't, you know, experienced that. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's so magical to watch the turtles laying their
Yeah.
eggs and seeing those little baby hatchlings. So, you know, what I've done with those books is try to write it as a work of fiction, but at the back I've put a lot of factual
Yeah.
information about the
Yeah.
animals that I've written about.
Yeah.
Dana and the Dolphin was about you know a little girl being rescued by a dolphin. And when I go around to schools, like I went this week actually, I say to the children, well, perhaps you could write a story where an animal rescues your heroine or your someone, or the other way around, that you as a person are rescuing an animal. So you know that always comes up with some interesting stories. It's a nice sort
Lovely.
of
I
stimulation for
know.
them to write their own story.
Yeah, yeah. I have a copy of Sariya, and the information behind is really, really beautiful. I mean, you start to get the capture the interest of the children through a lovely story, and at the end you get that knowledge bank across to the
Yeah.
children. That's really a beautiful idea.
Oh,
I
thank
know
you.
Raifi is the name of your grandson. Is Sariya and Dana also your grandchildren?
Yes, Sariya is my lovely 7-year-old granddaughter. And Raifi is also, he's 3 and he's absolutely obsessed with dinosaurs. That's why I wrote that story. And now I have Xavier, who's 2, and I've got to write a story for him. Seeing
Yes,
as I've
of course.
started, so I've got to decide on an animal that's prevalent in Oman and try and, you know, make a story around Xavier and I don't know, the leopard or the
We
oryx
could
or something.
invite
I'm not
some.
sure.
We could invite some ideas and
Oh
suggestions for
yes,
you.
please, please give me some suggestions. I'm always looking for
So everybody who's
inspiration.
watching, think of the ideas of a unique animal which is prevalent in Oman, who could be
Yes.
the next, who could be featured in the Jane's next book, and let's get those answers in the Tuesday's chat.
All right, that's a great idea. Thank you very much.
Just a message from our audience. We are super thrilled to meet Jane Jaffer. Let's Read is our go-to place. My child prefers it most of the time instead of the gaming zone. That's a
Oh,
huge
very good. That's great.
and superb giveaway, and I would definitely like to win it.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
So the last thing on today's preview is, what would you say to our audience? What to expect from the main chat on Tuesday?
Well, the main chat on Tuesday, I'll definitely be going into more detail about how I write, why I write, where I write, and more information about the books as well. I mean, I think possibly this one is quite an interesting one to explore
Yeah,
because it was based on Buan Saud bin Ahmed al-Busaidi's life. And
wow.
it's a fascinating story about his life. And the next one that I wrote was a kind of the one led to the other one because there's a connection between the two.
Wow.
So yes, so there's the two that I really want to tell you a bit more about.
We're very excited.
I think I'll be talking about reading and about writing and answering questions about how to
There are a lot of questions that often come from our audience about the writing journey and the publishing journey. Also the writing process, how does the story happen in your mind? How do you build the characters? Do the characters take after you or people you know? We do talk a lot about that as well, which I'm sure will be very interesting. And it is very fascinating because you have written for adults and for children. So I'm sure the chat on Tuesday is going to be very, very interesting for all kinds of viewers, people who read themselves and people who like to read to their children. So everybody should be joining on Tuesday, and all questions that you ask in comments will be taken up during the chat and Jane will be answering those. So that's about it for today. Do not forget, again, a gentle reminder, do not forget to participate in the giveaway if you would like to win a copy of author-signed copy of this. And tune in. The link is already in our bio to the YouTube channel where you will be able to watch the chat live. Same time, 8 p.m. on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Oman time. That's about it. Thank you so much, Jane. And
thank you very much. Thank you, Anisha. Thank you for organizing this. And I look forward to meeting everyone on Tuesday.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Thanks for watching and thanks for your comments and questions. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.